Internet, Eric here. Finally getting back into the Child's Play series after some time off, especially after that last one I had to watch. But today, I only got two left until the remake comes out in June. So, cutting to the chase today. Talking Curse of Chucky. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I do discuss plot spoilers and specific scenes, what have you, so watch at your own risk. This came out in 2013. Once again, directed by Don Mancini. He directed the last one, Seed of Chucky. And this is a total departure from the last one. And I really enjoyed this one, even though I really enjoyed the last one as well. But this is pretty much, well, let's get to the plot. Basic plot is we're following Nica, who is paralyzed. She's been paralyzed since birth. She is played by Fiona Dorff, the daughter of Brad Dourif, who has voiced Chucky since the beginning. We're following her and her mother. They live together in this really creepy old house. One day they get a package in the mail. It ends up being a good guy doll. Of course, it's Chucky. Mother ends up dead. Seems like a suicide. And then more deaths happen while Nica tries to find out if there's any truth to this good guy killer Chucky doll thing, while others believe that possibly Nica is behind this. I really like this one. I like how, even though I love Bride of Chucky and I really enjoyed Seed, I like how this is more of a suspense slasher horror movie than the straight up horror comedy. Don Mancini does really well with the way he directs this one too. My favorite thing is this set. I love this old creepy gothic house that Nica and her mom live in. Just the look of it, it feels like it's out of like a Tim Burton movie or an old maybe Vincent Price movie. Just the way it's shot, Don Mancini, the way he has these high angles and low angles, and just the way he shoots from the ceiling in this, it really makes you feel how big this damn thing is. I like how there's no color to it. It's all black. It's all and gray. I love this, because Nica has to get upstairs. She takes this old, I'm just going to say express it, with this old push button elevator where it's, the cage door and everything, it just slowly goes up, and it, you have this old timey creepy feel. I love that. Don Mancini does a really good job. Fiona Dorff, I really like her as Nica. She's a likable character. Her acting is really good. I always thought it was cool that, Brad Dourif's daughter is now involved in the series. But she does a really good job. She makes Nica very likable. You can tell right away they do a good job that her and her mother don't have the best history, because Nica answers the door for the package, and then the delivery guy is kind of flirting with her, and you can see how she likes the attention, because you can tell she's just cooped up in the house all the time. And then just a mom says that, don't get your hopes up type crap. So and you just see her just crushed. But she does a really good job when she's scared, when she's supposed to be, strong and fearless against Chucky. It's not over the top. Like I said, very likable. She's a really good lead here. The other characters, they're decent. They're fine. We have a priest character who's there. After the mom is killed, the Nica's family comes in because the sister wants to sell the house. The sister brings her husband and the nanny and their daughter, and then a priest comes to give last rites, blah, blah, blah. The priest, not in it very much, but he's decent, he's likable. All these characters do what they're supposed to do. The wife, how do I say it? Not the wife, Nica's sister, you could tell she was kind of, money's important to her. She was the spoiled one. She was the favored one over Nica, and the actress does exactly what she's supposed to do, and it's not nauseating. You don't hate this character, but you don't really like her, so it's really good. The nanny is there to just look pretty and be in her underwear, but she does it well. The little girl who plays the daughter of Nica's sister, really good for what she does. She finds Chucky, and it's the whole, Chucky tells me stuff thing, play hide and seek with Chucky. she's not over the top and annoying like Tyler was in part 3. And I like that because Tyler got on my fucking nerves. She's kind of like Andy was in the first 2. Just the lines weren't all bad that she was given because I like how they do play hide and seek, and then like she hides in the closet and Chucky tells her to shut her fucking mouth and stuff like that. So he's still pretty vulgar around little girls or little kids in general, but she does good. Everybody does what they're supposed to, and it's great. And then Brad Dourif as Chucky once again makes him. He really makes Chucky less comedic like he's supposed to. He's more like the first film, the second film, where he's just an asshole who wants to get the job done. And he does it well. There's a little bit of a backstory, more backstory to Charles Lee Ray, so we get to see Brad Dourif outside of just doing a voiceover. He's back as Charles Lee Ray in some flashbacks, complete with a really bad wig. But it's cool because these flashbacks end right before these flashbacks end right when the cops show up. I'm not going to spoil what he does in this backstory because I really enjoy it. It takes place after he's split with Jennifer Tilly and he's found another family that he's involved with, and then those flashbacks stop right when the cops show up and he's in Chicago and he runs to the toy store. So really cool flow into the very beginning of the first film. And I like what they do with his character. I like that little backstory. It's very small, but I like it. So yeah, acting and characters are great. The gore is really good. We get a stabbing in the eyeball, which is really good. Close-up shot with the blood. We get a decapitation, which is done really well. We get, I won't spoil a lot of it. There's a couple deaths that are really good. One with an axe that I really like. We get one that's okay. We get an electrocution one, and the CGI there on the face is kind of meh, but it makes up with the gore on the rest. And one of my favorite gore effects is when Chucky is he's coming after Nica with an axe, and she's in a wheelchair, and she scoots back like this, and she lifts up her leg, and he hits her in the leg, and since she's paralyzed, she doesn't feel it. But you got that cool shot of just the axe in her leg, and she pulls it out, and you get this big gaping wound. It's really great. I love that. So the gore and the effects are really good. Chucky's look does take some getting used to. There is a little bit of difference in his face. It's hard to see on this because you can tell. I mean, even he doesn't have initially the stitch marks. I mean, they do come out. They are visible by the end. But just the way his face looks, it's just a little off to me. So I don't care for it that much. It does take some getting used to. What else? There's not much I don't like about this film. And the score is really good when there's some intense scenes. One of my favorite scenes is, with the use of intensity and score, is when Nica is trying to get up the stairs, and for some reason I don't remember, the elevator's not working. I don't know if Chucky cuts the power, if it's just because there's a storm. She's got to get up the stairs because her sister Barb, which is great because I just fucking realized when I was watching this again, her daughter is named Barb, and Nica calls her Barbie once, so Barbie, Chucky movie. I thought that was funny. The elevator won't work, so she's got to crawl up the stairs with no working legs, drag herself up to the next set of stairs, crawling up, and just the way it's shot and the way, the lightning effects and the thunder and then the score, and then, of course, the door opens and then there's this surprise where you see Nica did not make it in time. Great. There's a lot of foreshadowing and not really whodunit, but there's a scene where Chucky's in the kitchen, and he hasn't come alive yet. And the mom is someone's making, I think it's chili for everybody. And one of them's poisoned. And Mancini does a good job of focusing on the bowls of chili. And people's taking scoops and putting it in their mouth. And you're wondering who's getting the poison. For a fact it's just going to be one of them. And it'll eventually take effect. And I just like that little tension there of who was going to get poisoned. So that was great. I love the ending. The ending I won't spoil, but I'll just say what happens to Nica is fantastic. It's a great, if there was no sequel to this, I would have been happy with the way it ended. It's like a punch to the gut, but it's one of those, wow. It went there, and it was great. I loved it. I personally loved what happened to Nica because of Chucky at the end of this film. I did not see that coming, and I wholeheartedly enjoyed it. It was so good. Such a good decision. I think Mancini wrote this as well, because he's written all of them. Written and directed by Don Mancini. Okay, so that was great. What else? I don't know what else I can do to praise this, because other than, like I said, other than getting used to Chucky's look, there's not much I don't really like about this film. It didn't really drag at all. Oh, I like one of my favorite. I like when movies don't really show the title card until something has happened. One of my favorite things that Don Mancini does is Chucky has been, he's already been delivered, and he's sitting in this chair. Or no, what is it? Nica finds her mom's body, and then I think she fell off the loft, the second story, and she's screaming at her. She's either screaming at the body or she's on the phone calling, but we see the body, and then, what's happening in the background, and then we focus on Chucky here, and then Mancini goes back, and it's the paramedics, getting the body back stuff. It's just a really cool cut or edit or dissolve or whatever the fuck you filmmakers would call it, and then boom, Curse of Chucky. Just love it. Mancini's probably, he only directed this one, before this one he directed Seed, and his acting, Jesus, his directing is great here. I absolutely love what he's done here, so highly recommend Curse of Chucky. I don't know if it's in my top 3, but it's at least top 4. And out of, 7, that's not bad. So yeah, great, either great or decent characters. Love the way it's shot, the feel of the house, the kills and the gore, the tension, everything is great. Really, really enjoy Curse of Chucky. Highly recommend it. Oh, and excuse me, I was telling my wife this, because we were saying how it was cool that Fiona Dorff is now in the series that her dad her dad not really created, but was a part of since the beginning. I always like this story Brad Dorff told about when Fiona visited him on the set of the original Child's Play. And she's, I don't know however old she was, 10 or younger. And he's in the voiceover booth, and she shows up when it's the scene where Chucky's lit on fire. So when she walks in the room, she sees her dad screaming at the top of his lungs. And when he got done, he looked at her, and he said she was just fucking traumatized. So I don't know. Maybe it's the sadist in me that finds that hilarious. But anyways, once again, last time I'll say it, Curse of Chucky, highly recommend. One of the best ones. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, click the bell, whatever. One more movie before I'm done with this until the remake. So I will say, make sure you wait till after the credits. That's all I will say for a little cameo. If you don't know about, that is there. It's really good. So yeah, cheers and play with this.